You can change your profile picture. Okay, and we're live. So, hi, my name is Lego Tech. I'm not going to use my actual name right now because, well, I don't want to use it. Privacy reasons. And then we have my friend SP Lines Trainman 101.
1.0.
I'm gonna. Oh, come on, I can't change his name anymore. Damn you, StreamYard. Because I
Suppose
remember, like,
it's been
remember
years.
back in, like, in 2022 or something, we were able to
2021.
change, names.
Personally, I like my name. Thank you very much. It's the same as my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay then. And then tonight is going to be about either model kits or I don't know, just talking trains. I know that sounds like a TSG thing, but they don't own the copyright to it. Sue me. Well, not really.
Do feel. So basically, we got two SP fans and we got a UP guy.
My friend
Yeah.
Daniel would love you. Jeez.
Oh yeah, Daniel Wood. Hopefully we see him at San Leandro Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention tech. Guess what I got? Guess what I got pre-order on?
Oh, you actually got a pre-order now. What did you pre-order? Wait, the
A
Rapido Trains US Ray S160?
no. I buy big trains, big engines. I pre-order a Broadway Limited UP Challenger.
Because isn't if I'm correct, the Challenger is your favorite locomotive?
Oh hell yeah!
Okay, no, I get that. You made a good choice, my friend, because you know the BLI. So you had like two options, BLI and
Yeah.
Athearn.
No,
The
I would be. It was
Athearn one is plastic. It can't pull very much. The box design is shit. You got terrible couplers. The BLI is metal, so it can actually pull trains.
actually the reason I bought it because it's actually cheaper than buying the Apple one on pre-order. Actually,
Are you serious?
yeah, it was a
Sounds
limit.
about
It
right.
was a member collector only engines. It cost like 400. So it meanwhile a Apple cost 500.
We're doing a screen share right now because this is
Yeah.
share my
So
screen.
here's a good tip, everyone. When you buy, always join the Huawei fan club because you get good deals on limited edition models.
Oh, you're talking about the Conductors Club. Yeah,
I
I'm a
think
part
that.
of that myself.
Oh yeah,
I am not because um
it's only $30 a year, but you get a good choice of models.
oh no, I get that. Okay, so um HO scale. So
I want to
my
say link of the
problem
challenger.
is come on. Yes, I want to get to the new mountains. I really want to get this one. But the problem is Athearn does a terrible job with their box design. And they give you the plastic McHenry couplers, which I think are the worst couplers. Worse than horn hooks.
Oh, horn hooks. That's an insult to horn hooks. I actually had horn hooks. They actually work pretty well.
They work all right. They're just hard to decouple.
The problem, like, actually, I
The,
do
the,
have a mechanic couple on my Apple Express freight car. Let me tell you, it's awful. I can't even couple behind my UP Steamos.
the thing I really dislike is Athearn has been around for a very long time. And they can't
Since
just
the 1940s, I believe.
yeah, since like 1948. Okay, you're getting a really good less than $500 for a diecast Challenger.
Yeah,
That is a really good deal right there.
UM Pacific 3985.
You're getting that one specifically?
Oh hell yeah, because I got the Greyhound version,
Ah,
3979. So I probably decided
Adonis,
to get.
Lego Tech. What else is there in the refurb shop?
yeah, let's check the refurb shop.
And actually, oh, you saw the new Huawei S1 as well.
Yeah, we have.
That is, I am impressed by it. I'm not going to buy it because I have no room for it, and also I'm not a big fan of duplexes, but it's still impressive.
the main thing, okay.
So, can I say something?
Yeah.
So, the problem a lot of people have with the Broadway S1 is that a lot of the guys who have grown up with traditional brass, and I've seen this across several forums, they feel like since Broadway is now making a lot of these models that were traditionally brass and brass hybrids, they feel like they're undercutting the market and actually making their very rare models, like the Challenger Imports S1, which is as rare as the proverbial hen's teeth, they're making it go down in price like majorly. So a lot of these people who bought the Challenger Imports S1 as a nest egg are now losing money on it since Broadway announced their brass hybrid line.
Wait, you're
It's
telling me these people here bought these models, are keeping them in their basement and waiting for them to go up in value just to resell them?
Not necessarily that, but like to pass down as a family heirloom. Like these Challenger Imports S1s are hardly ever run, and if they are, they always run on a straight track back and forth because home layouts are so tight that they cannot physically make them turn.
Then that kind of just defeats the point of buying a model train. If I buy a model, I want to run it.
what the point of buying even though it
I,
probably
I
that's one probably amazing. The problem is
Well,
we need another one in the market.
well, the problem is that the Challenger Imports were the top of the line brass quality up until the early 2000s. They were known for quality over quantity.
okay, and I mean that Broadway Limited isn't going out and changing every single Challenger Imports model.
It's
And
No, they're not.
actually, if you think about it, this is better to have. Actually, let's go quickly
it
load up
better
price
Well,
because
tag.
I
you
don't know.
actually
I don't know because I don't own any expensive brass like that, like Challenger, Division Point, or Coach Art, anything like that. I do want to get something like that, but right now I have to stick with the older
it's
brass like
very bottom.
KFM, Westside, Balboa, or
I mean, I
even
even question why you really
Bronze.
need super detailed brass because I know Sunset, the 2008 run of their moguls of the M9 and M6. Mine is like really nice. I don't know why you need all that extra detail to
Like
begin with. I mean,
simple.
unless it's your favorite engine.
It's the price.
The price, exactly. Because my
But here's the
Sunset
thing.
Mogul,
Here's the thing.
actually, let me go on brasstrains.com.
Here's the thing, though. When these models came out brand new, at the max they were $800. At the max, 1,000 for some models. But since Challenger Imports went out of business, I think 2008, they have really skyrocketed in price. They have. In fact, if you saw Brass Basement's YouTube video this morning, you saw that Adam had a Division Point John Henry steam turbine. Okay, he put a video of, of him unboxing it and running it on his test track at his house, and the John Henry is right up there. The one from Division Point is right up there with the Challenger Imports S1. In fact, Adam put the John Henry on his store. Less than an hour later, it was gone, and it sold
Okay.
for over $5,000.
Yeah, because people want it. It does make sense why they don't want a new one because they want to lose the price. But the problem is if it's just being selfish in that case.
I agree, honestly. The biggest thing that is killing model railroading is the high price.
And
And
actually, can I
And
say
why do you
something?
think the high price comes out? It's because of the rivet counters who want every single little detail to be perfect. They want the exact sound file from the exact locomotive. It's killing the market because these guys who are beginners trying to get into the hobby want us just to start out with a beginner set, and they still get crap for it, saying you should buy better quality models. I've been dealing with that since I first joined a club in 2019. If my grandfather was still alive and he was a big G scale guy, my dad's father, he would be
here's the
ashamed.
problem, though. If you're gonna want to go about quality, we are actually, now I've done some research, are getting better. Because Bachmann
Is
was one of the shittiest brands, in my opinion. Like, don't
Well,
get me
also
wrong,
one
like,
of the oldest, but
they are.
they're
Their
one of the
models
oldest
are
companies,
just too
but they're
light.
But Bachmann has recently kind of stepped up their game with their quality. Their new USRA 060s are pretty good. I
and the
might get
Heights.
one of the PRR ones just to compare with my Proto 2001 to see if it's at least, I'm not saying better, but at least comparable,
decent.
decent. And their Hudson, I think, was really good. Their Siemens Charger, I mean, when I ran that thing, it ran smoothly. Granted, that was probably in part due to when they were developing it, Amtrak and Siemens was just like breathing down Bachmann's neck, going like, "You're gonna be a rivet counter this time." you're gonna get every single freaking detail right. You want this contract? We're gonna dangle it in front of your face. But even then, Bachman still made a good model.
And the price
And
is
an
not
affordably priced one.
killable. It's still reasonable for its size.
Yeah, and then also decoders. So we all know here that DCC decoders will immediately make a model much more expensive. I assume we're all in agreement on that.
Additional $100, especially with sound.
I
Yes.
agree with that. Yeah.
One of the things I'm liking that Bachman is using, and one of our SP lines, or can I just call you M, or what's an easier name I can just call you?
Just call me Train Man.
Train Man. Okay, Train Man. We have a friend named Mike at our club. He uses Econami. So you know Tsunami? It's just
Yeah,
Econami is
a minor
the
version of contract.
version of Tsunami that it has good sound quality, but not as many features. But the decoder is like half the price, but it gives you pretty much most of the basic sounds you'd want.
Exactly.
Bachman has been using that in a lot of their DCC models. So it's a good decoder, but it's not something very pricey. So it's a good decoder, like let's say you're trying to get your foot in the door with modeling. Like let's say you buy like I don't know what they're doing, like a GP40-2 that's Southern Pacific because you want to do like 80s or 90s. You get a
Not
good
my
decoder
era, but okay.
for a model. And like let's say you don't like the model anymore, the decoder at least you got was still good.
Because yeah, it's still a plug and play. You can still transfer it to another locomotive as long as it uses plug and play system.
Not only that, like let's say in the future, like you want to go, okay, I want to upgrade this to Tsunami 2 or Lock Sound. You can do that if it's a plug and play.
Okay,
So
the
Bachman
Tsunami
has
2
done
I can
some
agree
better
with.
things.
Tsunami 2 I can agree with, but I absolutely despise Lockstone. It's a bitch to program. Sorry my cussing, but it is. It's really
Lock
hard to
Sound,
program.
Lock Sound is a very difficult thing
Yeah,
to
you need your
program.
own. You need the lock programmer to program Locksound. I'm sorry to say, but it's. I'd rather just use a regular JMRI with Tsunami 2 or anything like that, and just program the number and the sound function. You're done. With the lock sound, you need to do a whole entire process that takes hours upon hours of work just to sound right. And that's
Yes,
if
but
you're a super
it's the
Rivik
same
owner.
thing with building a kit. I mean, I have a few kits here. I have an intermountain kit, 2 branch line kits, and 3 red caboose kits I might go work on this stream. But
Actually,
I mean, I've shown my face before. I'll just start my camera. No. 2 branch line kits, reefers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go work on this later. And then 3 of the red caboose kits because these things are really nice. Because I'm doing transition era for Steam because it's easier.
Oh,
And then I have the transition era. Don't get me wrong. Like I love Steam and I would like to do pre-war, but I have like some diesels I really like the SD9, the GP9s, the S-class switchers from Alco. I like the PAs, but I have an ABA set of PAs, but they're 1960s because I don't want to do daylight.
I'm the same way, dude, because for the majority, I model pre-1946 with those SP lines, like as it says in my name. But I will go a little bit past 1946. But like the latest I'll go is 1954, 55, pushing it.
Yeah, no. The latest Algo is usually like 1956 because
And the
that's
Steam
the
lines
last
too,
year of
yeah.
Steam, or maybe like January. Last day I do is January 22nd, 1957, because that was the last day the Southern Pacific ran Steam on the commute, which was the last place to see Steam, and it was pulled by an MT4. What a surprise! But no, also.
actually,
Like one of the things that people really need to start to learn is if you can learn to work on yourself and models. So I wanted to get Alco PAs that are SP. I didn't go with Rapidos because Rapidos are extremely pricey. These are some old Proto 2000 Alco PAs. The PA is power DCC, needs to get a horn up top. And I have a PB that's a dummy. I have another PA that's a DC model and has a horn. It's just a parts engine.
Hey,
I'm going to
Tech.
use its chassis for this.
Can
Yes?
I mention something about the Rapido PAs? And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, but some people are going to agree.
What is that?
The Rapido PAs, in my opinion, and a lot of people agree with me on this, but some people disagree, were rushed too quickly to production. So the reason
I
for
heard
that,
the same thing from a lot of people.
Yeah, in fact, I've noticed several people at San Leandro at the time were having issues with the Rapido PAs. In fact, one of my closest mentors, well, not closest mentors, one of my mentors at San Leandro had the two daylight Rapido PAs. And when they were locked sound, in fact, no, first day he ran them, tried programming them, lock sound decoder locked up, would not program. Sent it back, got new lock
Also,
sound
one of
decoders
the
in it.
things, if I may quickly note, so the Proto 2000 PAs here, they had some smaller features. I don't think Rapido had these. Like Rapido had you can see these things had sprung doors. You don't have those on any manufacturers. I think Proto 2000 was only one. Pro 2000 did reasonably affordable models that the Rapido PAs aren't entirely that much more detailed than my Proto 2000 ones, yet they cost like $300 a piece. They're so highly
Well,
overpriced.
they are just as detailed, but and they're actually more photographically accurate detail. But the problem at the price of that, I've told you about the snow plow or the plow on the PA units on the Rapido ones. They
Yeah, they
are
were too
perfectly
close to the ground because they rushed production.
well. No, that actually they try to make it accurate like that because the real life plow, the real life PA units was only a foot off the ground, and they're on the real PAs. So they try to make it like that, but the problem they failed to think about how that would react on club layouts that have a lot of hand laid tracks still, like Sam Leander does. And a lot of my friends' PA units from Rapido had their plows ripped off when went over a dip or into a dip. So, and then back to thinking about my mentor, his PA unit decoder's locked up. He sent it back to Rapido, got a new decoder that broke on him, and so he's like, "Screw this! I'm going to just rip out the guts and everything like that, and just re-put in Tsunami 2," which he did, and it's now
That's
run. It's run better ever since.
I feel that.
that's the main thing though. If these manufacturers here, people say model railroading's dying. There's two main reasons right now that you can see that. The
No,
first,
maybe not. But hold on, I
it's
was thinking
no,
on it.
no. The reason people are saying it isn't dying because if it was dying, we would see manufacturers close left and right.
I got
Athearn
a
would be
feeling
gone.
about that.
Broadway, Walthers, Atlas, they'd all be gone. But they're still here because there's a market for this. But price is getting ridiculous, and then the quality of the models is just going down in some regards.
Oh, true.
Some manufacturers are going up, but a good example here, I can give like you saw that as we mentioned with Rapido, that's an example right there, and I have two others we can bring up.
Alco going down, Rapido going down. Always pretty much
Athearn.
at
No,
top.
like Athearn, I'm quickly going up to Athearn. So their new mountains, they're asking $600 for that. And what improvements have they actually brought up? They're gonna now
No.
let me read the ones that they say are new features. Dual cube speakers for great sound quality. Upgraded headlight with LEDs. Improved loco to tender connection section harness for increased durability and serviceability. That is something that should have been there right off the start. Because Athearn boxes make you continuously remove the locomotive from the tender, and over time the plug falls apart. And that's the reason my black MT4, its plug is broken. So I'm getting a
Question.
box for it before I work on it. Well, I got a box, now I got to go get a new pin after I get my new mountain. Improved electrical pickup wires. Improved traction tire to rail contact area. Those are upgrades that should have been upgraded on the model from the start. They should not be advertised as, "Oh guys, we've made this model upgraded and we're going to sell you it for like $200 to $300 more now."
Question. What the
Yeah.
body shell made out of?
What's the what made out of?
The body shell.
Plastic.
Plastic.
Okay, they overcharging it.
Wait, actually, I'm going to quickly go to the other room because I have my two mountains. My black one's an original run. My daylight mountain is a second run. Both need work, but I have their original boxes, and I bought, and they were bought
Tim,
at the
hold on.
train shop in Santa Clara.
No, the reason I said this is because
They
I
have their
know the
original price
price.
tags.
I know the price of the Broadway Limited OE Challenge, and that is die-cast.
It's
That is
die
same
cast.
price.
It's got metal, and there's
Same
a
price.
benefit to that.
Same price
Exactly.
as the Mountain.
And not to mention that they have proper metal couplers. I have BLI couplers, so I have I dabble in a bit of more modern equipment. I have latest I usually goes the 1990s because I was born in '02 and I was in Fremont and there was a lot of railroad action when I was a kid. I saw a lot of old equipment from Southern Pacific, Santa Fe, Rio Grande. Anyway, so I have
Lego
two
Tech.
older cars. Yeah.
I have my mountain right here. If you want me to get it out and put it on my track right next to me to show
Feel
like
free
the
to.
difference. What?
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get at here is I have 2 cars. I have a Broadway Limited cryogenic tank car, and I have 3 Athearn ready to roll like 50-foot box cars. Both are stock. I ran them with my CSX G40-2 on Saturday for a little bit because I was doing a little run around the branch. My ready to roll cars had problems with their couplers because they're McHenrys. My BLI metal couplers had no problems. My BLI couplers on my articulated daylight car had no problem. My cab forward, no problem. I've never had problems with BLI couplers. With
I
my
find
Athearn couplers on my MT4s, I usually keep my couplers on till I have to replace them because cost, it can get expensive doing that with KDs or something.
yeah.
All my couplers just broke off. Like, Athearn cannot produce couplers that are very durable.
So
Oh, hello, Katie. How's it going? How are you doing? I have the link if you want to hop on and talk.
yeah, but yeah. When you saying the hobby dying, I got a feeling about that because
Go on.
I know something interesting about what happened over the seal. Where in the area, what country all the bad news happened at?
Uh, what do you mean by that? Israel?
No, not Israel. I want to stay not political over that one.
Oh, are you talking about COVID, about China?
No, I'm talking about all the
He's
things
talking
happen.
about model railways.
I'm talking about all the things happen to model railroad community over the shield with all the closures.
Um, to be fair, I understand that has been mostly happening in the UK.
My theory is the hobby in the UK is slowly dying.
I think that is probably true because I watched a documentary about heritage railroads in the UK, and a lot of the guys who are running it are like getting old, and
Yeah.
there's not really any youth that's coming into replacing them and
No, the
helping
reason
them preserve steam.
I also noticed it because look at the prices for the engines, and also I do research on the state of the UK country itself, and consider
The
this, like
the
how much
UK
money.
isn't doing very well, sadly.
Yeah, I don't want to say political because it's.
Yeah, we're not doing politics on this live stream. I
Oh
refuse.
yeah,
We're
definitely.
staying strictly no politics or
Yeah.
religion
So
because I
yeah.
don't want to
So,
be controversial here.
Yeah,
but can I
but
say
either
something
way, the
about the
money.
European? Can I say
Once
something
you
about
this
the
with
European market?
there's some people I see at some of my train clubs that decide to get incredibly political. If
Yeah,
they ever try and hop on this stream, and Matt knows one of them, do not get on. I don't know if they're watching or not, but do not get on. I don't
yeah,
want your politics or your drama.
I don't think that Mr. Tatum would actually get on this chat.
Oh, no, not from that club, from a different club. Don't say the name because I'll explain to you later because I don't want it
I
public.
know.
I
I
would say
know. I know.
yeah, but what my guess is, basically, UK, UK, the people in UK in Britain make less money than the people in the US, compared with the average wage in the UK to the US and multiply stuff like that. My guess is showing that the US have a more buying power proportion, so we can able to do more hobbies, even though it's still tight to us.
Well,
Well,
then
here's
again,
the other
can
thing.
I say
Like,
something,
if
Lego Tech?
if you're in a recession, because like we might be in another depression soon due to the economic problems here in the U.S., what are you going to be more likely to buy? You need food to survive. You can live without model trains. Let's say theoretically here, in my situation, 2-3 months from now, we have another like a stock market crash or something, but I'm able to get by with food, water, and the essentials, my power bill, stuff like that. Do you think I'm going to spend that money on model trains? No, I'm going to spend
No.
it on the essentials and with my family.
No,
And
but
most people are doing that.
but what I'm saying is the Americans will probably easier. They probably have a little more money left over somehow to able to do a hobby, even though it's less
I've
than
been
they
trying to
should.
talk now for a few minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
The problem with the British train market is that, granted, there are a lot of British trains that are being saved on heritage roads. In fact, you've heard about from the ground up, they have built a new 442 Atlantic class for Britain.
H2.
Sorry to hear that, Katie. It's good to hear that you guys are doing better. Sorry to hear that happen. But no, Matt, your thing is you're right. They have been able to build new stuff like Peppercorn Class 462 Tornado.
No,
And also,
they're making a new Atlantic.
yeah, they made a new Atlantic class. Also, the problem is Rails. Remember, Rails of Sheffield or is it something like that went out of business, or Hatton's Railway
Hatton Railways
was
also
closed.
bought them out train stuff as well.
Yeah, and then they both went out of business. But luckily, Hatton's was bought by Rails of Sheffield, so they're now under that umbrella. But also, a lot of the problem is, I've actually found this to be interesting. A lot of the British railway modelers, and question me if I'm wrong, a lot of the British railways modelers love to model the narrow gauge because they're used to working in the coal mines. Am I wrong?
No. I see a lot of standard gauges. What I know is
Oh my
British-
God, I am in love.
the British
What'd you find?
modelers almost more
Wait,
picky with
I
the
gotta
design.
interrupt quickly. I'm
Right.
sorry. But so Matt knows I'm trying to join a club in Pleasanton, and they have 2-rail O scale there.
Ooh.
And my
Oh.
favorite engine's the MT4.
During a seat sale.
There is, I mean, I now really want to save it for this. I want to get the Brass Sunset 2-rail O scale MT4, but it's $1,395.
Jesus Christ!
Does it have TMCC in it or something, or is it 2-rail
It was the
DC?
2007 run from Sunset, made in Korea.
I know, but dude, do you even know what TMCC is
Isn't that a DCC system?
for O scale?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no. Also, like what I was about to say, the British railways. I've actually found out that a lot of British railroaders over across the pond like to model O and 30 gauge. It's actually been proven because I'm part of several O and 30 groups on Facebook, and a lot of the guys on the group were over across the pond. In fact,
Yeah.
one of them just recently posted about a new model train that came out that's O and 30, but it's actually called Narrow Gauge 7, but runs on O and 30 and HO track. It's the Hunslets.
But I know, like I was saying is, I talk about the OO scale community, maybe. I noticed that, like,
Good to hear, Katie. It's good to hear that you're doing
they are more picky with the design, like the models itself, and so Sam trains. Considering that,
well, if I may jump in for a second,
Sure.
that's in part the British's fault, because if you're gonna want more features, more detail, more separately applied detail parts, you don't want molded on stuff, you want separately applied, the price is going to go up. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. It's like the same thing with buying a new car. Do you want a car with all the special features? It's like you're buying a ZL1 Camaro, but compared to just a standard line Camaro, and you want the ZL1 with the turbocharger and everything. You're gonna pay more for that because it has more features, more power.
also it's the behavioral. Because I got a good example. Over was talking about the Bachman Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bachman, yeah.
we have a train review one, and he was disappointed with it, even though every other review say how good it is. And the only difference between all of them is him in the UK and everyone else in the US.
One other thing I want to review that I wish Bachmann would do more of is, I think it came out 1 to 2 years ago. You guys might remember the Bachmann 060 Porter saddle tank engine.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I have a friend who got one of those for his birthday, but he doesn't model Steam. Do not say his name, Trainman. You know who it is, though. And it's Santa Fe, but he doesn't want it. It has the box. It has the decoder. I've used it once on my club layout. He says he wants $50 for it. And I looked at the thing online. Those things were like $100. They came with DCC, lights, no sounds, and they ran smooth, and they could pull like 5 cars.
Yeah,
Wait, is this the one
We
you
need
got for?
stuff like that from
Let me go check.
Bachmann, because if someone wants to get into the hobby, get a cheap steam locomotive, and you can make cheap diesels, but we need cheap steam engines as an option as well. That's like not crap.
Well, I got
That is
an
a
idea
good
for
engine
that.
to get your foot in the door in steam. There's a really good engine. I used it on the main line, I used it on the branch, I used it on switching. It's a very good versatile engine. We need more stuff like that.
Can I propose something?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna probably get hate for this one, but maybe if Homeby really wanted to do it, maybe release the old velocity tooling, but heavily modernize them to the market and sell them to the place that they are like good in.
Can I make a
What you
controversial opinion on Sam's trains quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So Sam's trains, when he reviewed the Riverossi Big Boy, said like I couldn't afford the Broadway or the Athearn Big Boy. The guy will give any company a lot of crap. He gave Bachman a lot of crap for their Hudson because it
Even though
wasn't
everyone else said otherwise.
to his quote unquote quality standards. If you want those kind of standards, pay the more premium price. I've watched a bunch of his reviews. He's pretty good for most of his reviews. I don't want to be an enemy of him because he did pretty good for the most of them. But if
I
you
will say
want
this
that
right now.
kind of quality, buy the higher quality stuff. Don't complain that the lower quality stuff doesn't have that kind of quality standard. You
Can I
want
say?
all the details? Go buy a Broadway. I'm
Can I,
sorry.
can I say something?
Sorry, go on.
I started having a problem with him since his stunt with the Hudson. After that, he just went on a wing. Especially what happened with him with another YouTuber.
Yeah, there was a video called "Don't Steal Sam's Train's Content" or something.
Yeah, what happened is a guy took a 2 second clip from Sam of him of a review he did on the like Dapple bands, and Sam got mad and made a scene about it.
I mean, I can in part understand like being unhappy about it, but I do think Sam might have. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know everything about it, so I'm a little uneducated.
I'm going to say this right now. Sam is right to take the video down, but my problem is how he handle it.
I think that is probably how I stand on that situation too, because I fully understand. It's his content. It shouldn't be stolen. I'm not wanting to disagree with that at all.
But
It's just I think how he went about it was a bit
aggressive, and also
not
he
just
lied to make his
aggressive,
video.
but kind of kicking a man down. Because Sam's trains, he's got over 100,000 followers. The guy he kicked down was like at 1,000 subs, so like less than 1% of what his size was.
Also, he actually backed the guy a couple months ago from Bachman. So technically, he did Bachman. Sam did.
Yeah, so it's a very hypocrite. It's just I don't like how he handled that situation. If you don't want someone stealing your content, I don't want to say let them because I fully understand it's his property. He should be allowed to keep his content, not let someone steal it.
But use fair use. But send a complaint to YouTube if they say, okay, it's fair or not fair use, drop it. But talk to the guy. Not in comments, but in Gmail and stuff like that. Be professional. And
Yeah,
also
the
do
big
not
problem was just how he went about it. I would have loved to seen him go about it
professional.
better, more professionally. Because as I said, I don't have a problem with not wanting your stuff stolen. I get that. I think we all agree on that.
Oh
Just
yeah, but
Mhm.
don't be a dick about it.
it's also he lied. Like when he said, "Oh, this guy take clips from everyone." No, he didn't. Once in a while,
Hello there.
I know. Yeah, once in a while he what he do is he makes satire videos, and
Yeah,
that video I talking about was satire. He was making fun of the Dapples a little bit.
which is fully honestly at this point, like there's reasons to troll on these companies because,
Yeah,
as
it's
I
fun.
said, there's reasons to complain about all of them, and
It's
a
a
lot of
life
them,
that
like
Mattel, Mattel.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun,
oh yeah,
pointing fun.
it's just fun and games at the end of the day. None of us are, for the most part. I mean, I'm usually not serious about when I'm joking around, uh, and whatnot.
Yeah. So what
Yeah, you
happened?
can join. I put the link in the chat if you want to.
Yeah. So what happened is Sam's fans just crashed on his channel and just basically drove him off. He's a fine came back. It's just sad. It was really sad.
Hey Colby, nice to see you. If you want to hop on later, feel free to.
Hey, Colby.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's a guy at our club. Yeah, Portland, you're more than welcome to hop on. Just the only rules are nothing controversial as in politics or religion. Just try and keep it like model trains and train kind of stuff. That's all we ask.
So okay, let's just do it. No rules, no nothing as well, because I can easily say something about what's going on in Europe.
Yeah, nothing like I mean, war's kind of talk about that unless it's like talking on older wars from a historical perspective, like World War II.
Okay, so that's the date. That you're not
Yeah.
moving after that.
No, pre
Well,
2000. Pre
if you're
2000.
gonna talk about Europe, let's talk about European trains about that. That's
Oh yeah, I want to talk about that for a second. One thing I really want to eventually do is model Poland in the 1990s.
Oh, speaking of that, I do got an Italian electric engine. In my
nice.
list.
Yeah,
Polish.
brother. Lima.
Yeah.
Lima.
Yeah, and we Italian electric. It's pretty good electric.
No, but seriously, like I'm afraid I'm like 80% sure I.
It one of the
fixed this
real.
thing.
It one of the real ones. It's like a street truck design.
Oh yeah, that thing's weird. Is
Or maybe we could put it into modify it into an American design.
I
That's about
really
it.
want a Kriegslock. I know.
That's not
I really
familiar.
want a Kriegslock, a Polish steam locomotive. Those were built by the Nazis during World War II, but after the war, they were used for the redevelopment of all of Europe,
Oh, the
and they
BL
were so common in Poland up until the 2000s.
Okay, and also, well, you got this demonetized. You lost half your penny.
What?
You lost half a penny. You say the N word.
Oh. Oh, I didn't know that was a controversial word.
oh.
Well, on YouTube it is.
Susan Wabajak, you need to understand. Oh, wait, Susan
Okay,
Wabajak
Gamer
isn't
said
the
N
one.
word. I'm like, I didn't even hear that, and then I'm
No,
like,
no. It's that and the evil Germans are not allowed to say on YouTube.
Yeah.
Trust me, I
I
know.
can't even say it
You
for
know, the guys who
historical
supported
purposes.
the
That's
funny man with the
ridiculous.
mustache.
Yeah, funny man of the mustache. Yeah, just say that.
The
So you mean
Swedish
Charlie
guy.
Chaplin?
Yeah, the failed
Just say it was
comedian.
built by the Germans, dude. Just say it was built by the Germans.
Well, that's kind of insulting. I mean, it was built, but it was not the same Germans.
But we had to be you had to be very touchy with that.
That's the thing I hate about the internet. Like when I was a kid in the 2000s, it was so, or in the early 2010s, you could say whatever you want. No one got mad, but nowadays, like, oh, I'll
Changing gears.
yeah,
Okay, so
Stuff
snowflakes.
like that. Okay, stuff like that basically killed Leocom video.
Not just that. Like, you guys remember TV Filthy Frank,
oh no.
Raka Raka?
What's the change
Those
the
guys.
topic?
Those guys they used to make a lot of content, but then they kind of just fell off because YouTube's TOS changed, sadly.
Okay,
Let's
anything we
Let's
want to
get
talk
back to
about?
trains now.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about little LCDs?
Let's talk about models we're wanting to eventually get.
Oh,
Okay, can I start
Have
off
you
with
joined
that,
the train
please?
club yet?
oh me?
Let me just bring out my list.
I am working on that.
Really?
Good news, I do have the DDC engine.
Are you getting a
That ain't
DCC
just
system?
mine.
No. I actually do got a DDC engine.
That he didn't just steal from me.
No, that little engine I have.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
nice.
little one.
Ah, nice to hear.
Yeah. So, Tech, remember that little steam engine I have?
Yeah.
So, may I start off with my engine?
I mean,
here?
little, I mean...
Wait.
Like
Let's
the-
let Trainman speak for a
Okay.
second.
Good. Sorry.
All right, so you're starting off with the list of engines you want to get. Of course, mine is primarily SP, as you know. Of course, I'm trying to get a AM2, AC1s, both the very early cab forwards. At the very bottom of my cab forward list, of course, is the MC1s, which was the very first cab forwards, which were built from the 2662s we used over Donner Pass. Of course, also on my wish list of SP engines is to get the Mastodon type, which is the 480. And what other SP engine is it? Oh, yeah. I do know that one brass company made this model, the El Gobernador. Was it the 412? Wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it's like a very famous Central Pacific steam engine that was built for heavy freight. It's like
It was a 412.
Yeah, the El Gobernador. Yeah, I know one brass company made that. In fact, I saw a model of that on eBay about a year ago, and it sold out like a snap of the fingers. Like it was gone within an hour.
Yeah. Is that it for now, or do you got more?
Well, of course, with with steam engine wise, I do want to be able to get what's that other SP engine that's so rarely known? What is it? It's of course, yeah. I've already got the model of a GS1. I've got the model of a two models of a GS4. I do want to get a GS2, GS3, GS5, and a GS6. Of course, I do want to get a GS7 and GS8, but those are kind of on the back burner for that because GS7s and GS8s are technically also L1s, which is cotton belt 44s. Which brings me to another point of my question. Lego Tech and Gamer Fan 844, do you guys consider the 819 a proper L1 or a somewhat GS7 or 8?
I had no idea what you're talking about because I'm not an SP fan.
Cotton Belt 819. It's an SP subsidiary. It's a 484. A lot of the L1s, when Cotton Belt made them in their shops in Louisiana, a lot of the L1s came out to California and became the GS7s and 8s. And there is currently one L1 left in Louisiana called the 819.
Oh yeah.
So what are your thoughts about that? Do you consider the 819 like only its class of L1, or do you actually consider it one of the last three surviving GS classes with 4449, 4460, and 819 as the three of them?
I have to count them as a combat engine. Maybe it's like technically a count if you want the tone, but I would say we have the two SP noble, so let's have 819 as its own as a combat engine.
Conval engine, yeah.
Trying to figure out.
But then again, there are some people who feel like that 819 is still proper. Still, since Conval was an SP subsidiary, do they consider it the last GS class?
No, I don't want. No.
They do though, because Conval was an SP subsidiary.
I mean, it was a subsidiary, but it wasn't SP. I mean, the Northwestern Pacific was a subsidiary of SP, but that didn't make it an SP line.
It's same with the Northwestern and the POO.
Actually, it was.
Were they subsidiaries?
The Northwestern is
a subsidiary of the Pennsylvania Railroad.
Yes.
Well, then again, would you consider their subsidiary like Cotton Belt if they were painted SP paint like the Black Widow or the Halloween?
Yeah.
So it was SP controlled, so it is technically an SP line. In fact, when Texas New Orleans was owned by SP before it was bought out by Cotton Belt, which is still an SP subsidiary, Cotton Belt was used with the letting on the tender of SP lines.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna quickly go into my list of things I'm looking for right now.
All right,
okay,
I
found something out. Neil,
what?
The two classes went to the Southern Pacific of the L1s never survived, so technically it doesn't count.
Yeah, the ones that came out here didn't survive, but the L1 that is in Louisiana is restored from Cotton Belt.
Like they had ties, but I say it doesn't count.
All right.
I'll say that it's a heated debate, but I don't think we're ever going to find the answer because the main answer is not going to be written on paper. It's going to be up to you. Like, we all have our different opinions. It's our individual opinion at the end of the day that matters. That's going to settle this.
Yeah, no, I don't even know what to say about that because on the one hand, I do want to consider 819 a GS7 or 8, but also an L1. But I also want to be true to the railroad since Cotton Belt was its own railroad technically, but it was owned by SP, well, controlled by it as well. So it depends on the viewer, like you said.
Okay, so
yeah, I'm gonna quickly go into my list. I have my first one is like one or two of the new SP Mountains. Preferably the post-war black, and if I can get a second one, I'd like to get a green boiler, pre-war as delivered. Afterwards, I'd like to get an SP282, and then after that a GS4, and an old MTH1 Daylight 4449 as delivered, and then possibly one of the new Berkshires. And if Broadway does a new run of the cab forward like an AC12, or they do the AC9, which I would love to have a model of in brass.
Dang.
Actually,
would
yeah,
do
you're
that.
right. I would like to get an AC9 and also like a SP Mikado, particularly an MK5.
Yeah, that's the one I'm getting, I think.
Well, wait a minute.
I'm
What's
ju-
that Mikado? What's that Mikado that went over the hill from Santa Cruz to San Jose?
I don't know. You mean on the old Los Gatos branch?
Yeah, on the old Los Gatos branch. Yeah, the Santa Cruz and Los Gatos branch.
Yeah, back when that was still in place. I don't remember, but I think it was commonplace because I know that branch line could not handle more than like 282s or 480s as their biggest power on the line.
Because yeah, a lot of that actually brings me into a little bit of history lesson. So my job in Donnis. I work for the SPCRR, which is the Society of Preservation Carter Brother Railroad Resources, in Ardwood Park in Fremont
He works for a narrow gauge railroad for anyone
Museum.
listening.
Oh,
All right, Katie, you have a good night.
okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
So
Matt, continue.
So so since I but yeah, so we take our acronym SPCRR from the South Pacific Coast, which was a narrow gauge railroad. And since the SPCRR went from Oakland all the way to Santa Cruz, and when SP bought out SPC, when they standard gauged the line, a lot of the tunnels going into Santa Cruz were the former SPC narrow gauge tunnels. So that's why the 282s and the 480s were the only ones that could fit through the old narrow gauge tunnels.
I thought it was because that the curves were not able to handle anything larger than that.
Well, yeah, because of the right of way. It was built for narrow gauge edges, and SP didn't want to widen it too much. That's why when they had the old SPC right of way, they kept it the way it was. They didn't widen the right of way out for standard gauge. They just put standard gauge right down the old right of way with the narrow gauge track was.
Which is
So
kind of ironic because when Union Pacific bought out the Western Pacific in the 1980s, which I'm a controversial opinion here. Union Pacific should not have been allowed to buy out both Southern Pacific and Western Pacific. They should have been allowed to buy out one or the other,
I
but not
agree with
both.
you
well,
on that.
technically, hold on. You should not bring UP. You should bring the idiots who did what the Santa Fe and the Southern Pacific merged.
That should not have happened. The SP Santa Fe merger would have been a literal monopoly because they were main competitors with one another in
Exactly,
California.
The thing is,
exactly.
yeah, but the thing is,
WP was never a competitor to Southern Pacific until it was
Exactly.
bought out by UP. Because then UP had paralleling tracks with Southern Pacific into their main heart, the Bay Area, and other
And
parts of California.
especially Sacramento, since
but
since
see the
Exactly.
thing, if they did let Santa Fe and the Southern Pacific merge, but with caveats, what the UP had some trackers rights, it will use instead of having two mega class ones, you have three, aka better competition.
I agree.
but
I think Southern Pacific should have never been bought out by UP. I wish they just figured out how to get out of their financial hard times
Truth be
and they
told,
well
stuck
I
around
doubt it.
today.
well
Because then we would have had three proper class ones in the state of California.
the
We would have
reason
Union Pacific, Southern Pacific, and BNSF.
But technically, my idea still can work.
well the reason that a lot of the reason, which I know you're going to agree with me on this, is because the reason that SP and the ATSF merger didn't go through, yeah, because of monopoly, also because of the main reason why the monopoly is down in the LA docks. Because SP and ATSF both had interest in there, and if they had merged, they would have total complete control of the LA docks.
Which is the main ports that you can get into the United States. For
Yeah,
most stuff
especially
coming
since a
from
lot of our
China goes
model,
through Los Angeles.
especially
People
since a
think
lot of our
Los
model
Angeles's
trains.
big money maker was just movies. It's always been the railroad, and to this day, Los Angeles, the biggest industry there is not Hollywood; it's the railroad. They don't tell you that, but that's pretty much it. The railroad went gone, the movie industry would go kaput immediately because then they couldn't get
We
anything imported in.
Yeah, that's a problem because yeah, UP especially in WP because WP didn't go that far south, but UP outcried it so damn bad about how to the trade commission about how ATSF and U and SP would have had total complete control of the LA docks, and so
Yep.
and especially since a lot of our model trains come through there from China where they're manufactured.
It's so hypocritical. They tried to use the system to someone's come in the backstage to try and get their foot in the door into Los Angeles, a monopoly.
Who's
And
coming
then they
on?
decide we're just not going to have that
Oh.
same courtesy. We're going to make ourselves a monopoly. And
Yeah,
that's what
mate,
they did in September 11,
but the thing
1996.
is, like, truth be told, like, the best way to
Hello.
do this is when,
Hello there. How's
like,
it going?
Hello.
the trade.
How are you?
Hello.
Good. You?
How are you, good sir?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Yeah.
Or well, what are you up to?
Excuse me, would any of you gents
Yes?
And he's gone.
No, he is not gone. He's still there. I think he just cut out. Maybe something went wrong
Okay.
with his internet.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Jack.
would any of you be interested in something?
Go on.
Go on.
Go on.
Are you interested in buying something?
Do I eat? Actually, no, I can't.
We're all flat out broke.
Would any of
It
you
depends
be
on what it
interested in
is.
buying something?
Depends on what it is.
If I have money, yes.
So what are you selling?
I'm selling a full DNRGW.
Mm.
Hmm.
Challenger, Novon, a Mikado. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Jack, I was about to mention.
Mhm.
The engine like DDC. Guess what engine is it?
Repeat?
Guess what engine DCC?
Wasn't it like a diesel? Because that would be easier to do.
Oh no, it's a steamer.
What, your Pacific?
No, I don't own a Pacific. I don't like. No, it's someone's steam engine I own.
The original Challenger?
No.
What is it? I'm not sure.
It in my username.
Oh, 844.
Oh my goodness. Well, didn't you get an Athearn 844?
No, I got a Velocity.
Ah.
Rossi.
Yeah.
Nice.
Redbox sale. Basically the last one they ever made. Well, it's like $150 on eBay.
Not bad.
The only thing sucks about it was missing the cab, but lucky for me, I have an FEF-3 on the side that I take the cab from.
Hmm.
Either way.
Working on it.
So,
How many items put in? 8 so far. 8 ads? 8 pictures so far. On one ad? Yeah. It's
So,
work in progress, sir.
so I go with
Muted
my
Dave
list of
because-
engines I might want.
Okay, it looks like he left. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about him because he just kind of came in here trying to sell stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, can I go with my list of engines?
Yeah, go ahead, 844.
Please
Okay,
do.
so
Yeah, both of us went over ours. We'd like to hear what you have for yours.
so mine big ol'. Okay, so the Southern Pacific, AC9, the Union Pacific. I want a MT4,
You want a Union Pacific MT4?
not MT, MT. One of them.
Oh,
One of them
UP Mountains, yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, wait, UP bought SB MT4s? I never heard of
sorry.
this.
No.
I talk about the mountains.
Anyway, go on.
The maybe a FEF-2, maybe if I can find one.
FF2, yeah.
A TT, I think. No, T. Yeah, TT1 at the Santa Fe's.
Oh, 210-2s, yeah.
Yeah, 210-2s. So the POR, I want an M1 Mountain, a K4, and
Oh, I might have a K4 I'd be willing to sell you, but it's the streamlined one.
yeah, no, and a maybe a H10 or a L2. So the Northwest, I want A class.
Of course.
Yeah, I have to get one. And
Those are gonna be pricey.
Yep.
I found a good place.
Not like the good quality ones. Like you're gonna want
Huawei.
something decent. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Go on though.
Huawei and the New York Central, a Heavy Mikado, a Mohawk,
Ah,
L3 or L4, I think both, and a Class A Berkshire.
Sounds like a good idea.
And that's not including the diesels or the Virginia Electric I want.
how about we take a detour, but still Steam Engine wise?
I'll be right back. I gotta go quickly use the bathroom.
Just mute yourself real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. My list, of course, we're taking a detour here to. It's like something I do with the narrow gauge, but it's actually standard gauge. Logging engines. I want.
Yeah, like I'm mostly more like I enjoy the bigger steam engines of the Wastos of the US railroads. I'm not picky with the company.
Well, you do know there's some big logging engines, right? There are.
Oh yeah, true.
Especially,
But
yeah, like the four truck shape for one of them. Also, like if you find the Oriental Brass Sugar Pine Lumber 210 tank engine, those things go for hell of money.
true, but usually I enjoy
You model
doing
mainline
US.
power. You model mainline power.
Yeah, mainline and semi-mainline or branch line or something power.
Well,
Basically, the engine you see on the main.
well, then if you want mainline power, you do know on the Western Maryland they did use Shays on the main line.
True, but I do enjoy Shays, but is it the cost really?
Hmm.
What I usually do is that I usually buy models that are a good place. I don't care what brand it is. If it's a brand I know will work and it's interesting to me, I'll probably buy it.
Well, yeah, because I know Broadway's coming out with a four truck Shay later this year. I've got one on pre-order myself. It's the Red River number 300, which actually was a railroad local to California up north.
Hey, Tech Back.
I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'll be back. I had to go quickly check on my chickens.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Also, a few of the other lumber railroads I want to get, of course, are the very early logging stuff like the Class A Shays and Climaxes. Those things are fun to run. Also, but then again, with the logging stuff, you have most of the logging stuff is only narrow gauge. You have a few HO stuff, but a lot of the, like true political fashion, you have to use narrow gauge stuff. And I know a lot of logging stuff. You have HON30, HON3, ON3, ON30. In fact, over on eBay, there's a brass ON3 wagon top Climax T-boiler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah, I enjoy logging stuff. Is before like having a train to walk by with a mile-long freight behind it or a pass hold on. Basically, I enjoy the mainline operations more.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Main reason is I grew up watching documentaries of mainline operations.
Yeah, you and me both, especially by railroad pictures. Me too.
And it's logging interesting. Yes, I before seeing a Macau going along pulling a heavy freight behind it, next cars. It's more appealing to me.
I get that because I've actually got a Mikado myself right now. I've got the BLI 4000 class.
I got two of them. I got two Aussie heavy mics. I converted one to a CNJ M3, and I got one in as a CNJ M1.
Yeah, this is the Broadway 4000 class, which was a class of Mikado that only ATSF had. Mine is the one with the switching pilot.
Ew. Yeah, I think I saw them on YouTube.
Yeah,
they are nice engines. I say that right now. I'm not a big fan of like.
Yeah, my
All right, I'm
my,
back. What did I miss?
Yeah, my
We should talk about models.
Not much. Just talk about my BLI Mikado.
Okay, I'm going to say this here. Portland and Astoria Railroad. Please don't join if you're just and to anyone in the future, please don't be joining if you're just gonna be trying to sell stuff. If you're that
Well,
desperate for money, just get a job like I am.
or on put on eBay.
Or Facebook
Exactly.
Marketplace. Or
Exactly.
someone at the club you're part of.
Oh, I got to mention something. Oh, a couple months ago, I was on Brass Trains.
I'll let him back in.
Focus on model.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Ew.
All right. Anyway, what were you saying, gamer on Brass Trains?
Yeah, I was working to like one of Tensoto's Mohawks they made.
Oh yeah, it's in Shoto Brass Mohawks. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you do Steam, you sadly have to go brass, because some engines just aren't made are only made in brass.
No, you got good, man. The problem is you have to be good at kit bashing to make some.
Oh.
Which, I'm sorry.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to quickly turn my camera on because I have a reason why you don't want to do that.
I know I'm pain, but guess what? I do it.
Two moguls that
I'm
are
happy.
Southern Pacific.
I'm happy with my decisions.
Well, kit bashing's good if you want to add on detail parts to make it more realistically accurate. But mostly,
What
though,
is
when I
I supposed to make a
What is the most
ready-to-roll
cursed
Athearn
train you can
mogul?
think of?
Pardon?
What?
What?
But kit bashing, that's mostly done with and 30 kind of stuff. That actually want to make like more freelance railroad.
Okay.
No, I can back at Mikado.
This is not a this is the die-cast, or not die-cast, this is a plastic model from Athearn.
Is that Unaho's daylight mogul he gave you?
Traded, yes. But this is not a very realistic mogul compared to the brass one that I have.
Well, that's like comparing
What
apples
is
and
the
oranges,
most
dude.
cursed train you can think of?
Okay, here it is. Shoot. Got it. Sunset M9. I don't know how you would be able to... I can't hold them both at the same time. I don't know how you'd kit bash that Athearn to look like this brass one.
Simple,
You
you can't.
can't. You can't.
But you can
Exactly.
get close get close to the bases and do something like that. Like, so for example, you can use a Bachman white or heavy mountain to make Mohawk.
Here's my thing, though. I want to mention. If you're going to try and make a kit bash, you'd have to find a model that's pretty close already, detail-wise.
Well, that's the whole thing of a 3D printer, and also like having a bunch of spare scrap parts.
Also, you got to find the right chassis that's the right size if you're going to do massive kit bashing.
Actually, I am doing a kit bash, 3 kit bashes as we speak.
Well, Lego Tech, you do know that kit bashing doesn't mean just bashing up the body. Like, you also like add separate detail parts.
No, I get that fully.
Oh, I'm doing 3 kit
It's a pain in the back to
do.
I was doing...
Name the biggest locomotive.
Repeat.
Okay, can I say what I want to say?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, so I got 3 parts I was working on. I'm making a YC Super Hudson with the Stampede handle. That is almost done. I just had to had to get a new motor drivetrain to it. Gearbox. And we right away and stuff like that, but it's basically almost done. I'm making a CNJ Heavy Mikado G3. I have more work to get done on that one. That probably would take me like the end of the year. But one that also engine I'm working on is a Baltimore, Ohio T1 Lima.
Alrighty.
Is a you know what the Lima is, right?
The what?
The Boston and Maine Lima.
The Lima, you mean the Berkshires?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love those things. I'm waiting. So I'm getting a summer job specifically to get one of those.
I am making one out of Velocity.
I'd like to see that because me and Matthew, he's got a pre-order in for both the wartime Berkshires for Southern Pacific because Boston and Maine sold those to Southern Pacific and Santa Fe during World War II. Yeah. I'm going to try and get one as well. Those things are so ugly. They are cute.
Yeah, my problem is I actually got the P-Water here already and the trailer truck.
You should do a YouTube video on that kit bash. That would be something interesting.
My only problem is the company did make the dome, the Sam dome. The problem is they don't have it. They're out of stock. So I had to go with a classic bookshop Sam dome.
Yeah, that's
Speaking of Berkshires, you know about Cardinal Rivers making their first run of a locomotive, right?
who?
Cardinal River
What is that?
The mall company?
model train
Give me
company,
a
brand
second.
new.
Yeah.
Cardinal Rivers, they're making the nickel plate Berkshire.
How much is it going to cost?
I have no idea.
Is it brass?
No, diecast.
Yeah. I know Scale Train making a J class. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, Cardinal River's a brand new manufacturer that's popped in the market. Adonis, can you share the screen, please?
I know.
Lego Tech.
You have. Yeah, but yeah. The problem is you can't. What Tech said about kit bashing, you have to get close to your bases to do it.
Mostly though, people do kit bashing though. If they're for like 0-30, if you want to build like a freelance railroad.
Oh yeah, you do. I can Agile Plan do the same thing with a 2.8 I have, but the problem is like you can't really you can't convert a bulk siren into a FF novel, and you can't. However, you can get close to the bases.
Okay, sorry. I
That's
was
possible.
help get my dog.
Yeah, it's fine.
But can you share your screen, please, Adonis, and go look up Cardinal River models?
Sure.
Because yeah, no, this is the new Berkshire that's coming out. It's going to be all die cast. Apparently, it's going to be a run to the Brockman nickel plate Berkshire. Since I know,
Wait. Cursed train I can think of. B&M Berkshires. They're so ugly, they're cute.
Don't talk. This is about the
Cardinal River
models.
That's right.
Yep, that's
I
it.
want to send you 2 pictures of my models. Actually, 3 of them.
I want to get one of these.
Nickel plate. Yep, S2 That's the one. That's the same one that 725 is, right?
Yeah. Wait. Products. They just have the Berkshire. That's it. But then they have.
They're also planning to announce the troop carry cars that this locomotive would pull.
You're talking troop cars that were seen around the United States during World War II.
Most of the northern states, like nickel plate, but yes.
Dang it! I want troop cars. Wait, eBay.
That's not the price. That is a decent price of it.
So the only ones that make troop cars that's actually plastic, of course, will be Walthers. And Walthers discontinued the line years ago. In fact, every time a Walthers troop train pack comes up, they sell like hotcakes.
I'm looking for SP specifically. I don't know why all these Burlington ones are still around.
Probably because no one wants to model it.
So you want the olive green with gold lettering troop cars.
Yes.
Okay.
But then no, wait. I want to see how Walther's classic
heavyweights.
Yeah.
Hey, on tech.
SP.
I sent you some things through DMs. You can show them. I have to go be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
All right.
Just mute your mic.
So in that case, I went crazy on the.
All right, so that seems to be his mode of power.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
These are cheaper end models, I'd assume, but that doesn't mean they're bad models.
The Niagara is a old Bachman. The top one is a Velocity FEF. That's right.
All right, and then here.
That is both of Velocity Mikados. One is the bottom one's an M1. I modified it, and the top one's a G3. M3 I'm working on.
All right, and then these ones.
The top one is a Red Box Ayla YZ Hudson, and the bottom one is a William Dixon 1980s CNO Hudson.
Ah.
I kind of want Bachman to make it in the HO scale.
No, I get that. The problem I see, and this is a problem with all scales, not as bad in HO scale compared to other scales, but like just even taking my situation here where I want to get Walther's classic heavyweights. Look at how hard these are very infrequent and how expensive these things are. You're paying
Yeah.
almost $70 a car.
Yeah, it's probably cheapest to modifying all velocities into like model specs.
I have a box where my entire passenger set is Old Riverossi
Mine
and
too.
Athearn Blue Box.
Mine
Matt
too.
has the same thing. We
I got
pretty much
I
do the
got
same.
three old Cardinals and old Bachmans for my athletes.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right back.
I have a few Walters Classic heavyweights myself, but to buy that 5-car set I got, that cost me around $550.
Like that velocity.
No, for the Walters Classic heavyweights.
Like my problem is like they are good cars. The problem is it costs too much. I'm not spending $65 on a coach. The only exception is if it like one of the like SP articulated.
And even then, those are going up in price because since MTH went out of business and Broadway's not doing any passenger car sets like Daylight anymore, they're just too expensive. I was lucky before MTH closed to get 4 sets of articulated coaches, and those coaches right now are worth $250 at the minimum. In fact, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can share my screen real quick to show you on eBay.
I think 200. Like they should be higher end because they are a bigger car, but I think there should be a limit. Like you can't go I don't know some height. Like I think the highest I think 200 fails to it. Maybe 190 something like that. Don't be too crazy, but still reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But what Bachman want like almost like $80 for a new coach.
I agree. That's a little bit too expensive. I agree.
Like, yeah, they're good detail, but the problem is, I don't spend $80 on a coach. I could buy like 2 or 3 of them from Will Austin. Like, I got like 2 decent coaches from eBay with metal wheels and metal cup and knuckle couples for $30. And one of them was a heavyweight. Both were heavyweights. They're less detailed than the Bachmans and the new ones, but guess what? They got the job done.
Even the Athearn Blue Box cars are starting to go up in price.
Yeah, actually, I got a blue box. Actually, I got one. I got an old Apple.
Alrighty, I'm back.
Okay, I'll be
Okay.
right back.
Oh wait, I'm gonna answer these 2 questions. Once I saw Norfolk Western J Class in a hot dog bun. Let me guess, it was from like Shitty Edits archives or something on Instagram. A guy like that, I think. You know what I'm talking about. Like I'm
I
always
did saw actually. Speaking of that, I did saw
my
611
2
last
most
year.
used social media sites are YouTube and Instagram because I love seeing crazy stuff like that.
I did saw 611 in the flesh like last year.
Modern
It was
excursion.
amazing.
Okay. Which Union 4449 do you currently have? Because if I'm being honest, I would recommend you just get the 4449 2000 B in a Civic Excursion. That is very unique. You could get, if you were to get a Daylight one, I would say get an either pre-war or post-war, but an in-service Daylight, because you could just pretty much use it for anything. It really doesn't matter. You could convince anyone. It's not like...
Well, you can get away with that SPCS. The CS.
You could get away with it pretty easily for the most part.
It's not like the UP challenge, like UP Steam Fleet, where you can't have 4014
Partially. Well, UP Steam Fleet's different.
Well, you could get away with the 4449, the 2000 something to the present day with the SP lines. You could get away with that, and as delivered service, you could get away with it, but it would look kind of inaccurate because the as delivered had white walls. The modern SP lines 4449 does not have white walls.
But the in walls like compared with the UP Steam Fleet, like Story 95 was never orbital during her career.
Until she came to California.
Until she came into excursion service.
That is true. That is true.
So technically, I can't model Story 95 as a engine.
Which one do you own? Wait. Portland, list the ones that you own currently. Anyway, continue, gamer. Sorry.
Like, for example, when I get 2095 by December, I can't really have a haul freight, like, realistic hauling freight trains in the 40s because Nintendo is inaccurate.
Sadly, that's true.
Technically, I can lie and say, oh, she got modified and some of that. Or say, who cares? I can do that, but it's still, I don't care. If I want to do accurate operations. Technically, I could probably do the same thing with 844 as well. 844 I can get away with because she was an oil born in Dawn service.
There was a reason that she was an oil burner because back then they noticed it was just cheaper. But the reason they couldn't convert the Challengers and the big boys was because then their efficiency went incredibly far down.
Yeah, actually, the challenges were oil bonus. Funny enough, 39.5, they stopped at 39.84. 39.5 was the only one that didn't.
For coal burners or oil burners?
Some of the challenges were all oil bonus. They got renumbered into the 700s.
Okay, then what was this I hear about coal burners? I was
No.
for a second.
No, the problem is you can't UP modify 29.5 into an oil burner in the 80s. So if I want to have a excursion 29.5 for a freight 1940 freight train, it'll look off because of Nintendo. I could get away with 844 because she was an oil burner during her operations.
Yeah, agree. Because the 44s can go anywhere. That's the whole point. Because especially if they came into California, California's regulations stated no coal burners, even at that time.
Yeah, 844. I can get with the FAF-3s because they were always oil burners after 1946.
Yeah.
But challenges are more challenging, especially 4014 if I want to use excursion model. Which is cool, and I might get at home a retool velocity one because, to be frank, I don't want to get a expensive Broadway one. I don't want one just excursions, and more likely she's going to be double-headed.
Because I used to have at Broadway FEF3. I never told you this. Actually,
Yeah. Lucky.
Well, I stupidly sold it. It was the 830. It was the 830 something. It was the first run FEF3 from Broadway. It was the triple stack one.
Triple stack?
Triple smokestack.
Okay, never seen that before.
Well, yeah, it was experimental because for years UP was trying to improve the smoke speed, or like the drag out of the smoke box to increase speed, and so they went from single stack to double stack to triple stack back down to double stack. So the triple stacks are so rare. Even in fact, I had the triple stack one, which is 831. The first run FEF3 from Broadway, and that thing hauled like crazy. And the smoke coming out of the three stacks was just fun to see.
So I tell you guys what maybe Broadway's going to make next year, maybe. So
please be an AC9. Please be an AC9. Please be an AC9. Please be an AC9. Is it an AC9?
No. What they do is this cruises all retool models of models that are sought after. Basically, it's models they already made, but they renumbered to actually survive in steam engine or a certain scheme they ran.
Oh, like reruns.
Yeah, basically what they did with 2985 right now and 2977.
Oh.
But they reduced the price on them and also have unique schemes on them.
Wait, so they're gonna you're telling me they're gonna retool and re-release models, but they're gonna be at a lower price?
Yes, slightly lower price, but you're gonna be on the membership.
If that happens, I will borrow a Trainman's membership to buy one.
It's $30 a year. It is $30 a year. But you get 1 year warranty. It's a good deal. It's a good deal. That's why I got it.
No, I get it. I get it. But I honestly don't really entirely see a point in getting the membership because several of my friends, including Matt here, has the membership.
You're not wrong with that.
And he said, I think, Matt, I think you were the one, or maybe it was another guy. You said, like, hey, you just want anything, just tell me, and you can just buy it through me. because
the only thing you need to do is put down payment of $100.
That was Mr. Lee. That was Mr. Lee.
oh, that was Mr. Lee.
The only thing you need to do is put a down payment of $100 plus shipping. That is.
That seems like a pretty good deal. No, Broadway. I at first was. I mean, I'm tempted to join their club because at first I was going like, God damn it, why on earth are they trying to get into the subscription business? Because like all the companies are trying to get into subscription businesses.
Well, also they do come out with locomotives once a year that actually only conductor club members can buy.
No, I think their club is actually value-wise really good.
Yeah. In fact, you didn't see the new Conductors Club locomotives that just came out, did you?
No, I did not.
That's one of them, the Challenger. The engine I pre-ordered.
Yeah, and the big boy too. They had the big boy with actually the chalk mark on the big boy that actually gave it its name. They were actually trying to call it something else. Yeah, N scale. They actually managed to make the mark that said big boy on the front of the smoke box that gave it its name because UP was planning to give it a different name, and when that employee scratched big boy in chalk on the locomotive, that's how it got its name, the big boy class.
It just stuck. It just stuck like glue.
Yeah. Actually, hold on. So the classes they're making next year, I'm out 2 of them. They either making a 9,000 class, a Human Pacific 9,000, or 844 in her Greyhound. 8444 in her Greyhound paint scheme.
I would like the 8444.
Or like the 2 others, I think one in the red and T1. I had to double check, but one is definitely 8444 in her Greyhound paint scheme. Which I arguing to like try to get it or hold off.
I'd say just get it because it would be an upgrade over the Riverossi. Not to mention you already have DCC sound and all the proper electronics
and
for
smoke.
DCC
And smoke.
But the problem is like, it's upgrade, but I'm fine with my velocity. I am fine with it. Plus, I plan to upgrade it.
That way. Keep going.
I plan to upgrade with sounds and it's a smoke unit, actually.
Well, you can always turn the smoke unit off. And the sounds, you can mute them.
No, I plan to do that on my velocity.
Why not just have 2 844s then?
The main reason is just the variety. I don't want 2 of the same, basically the same engine.
I also got something to mention about how Broadway's coming out with new locomotives. Guess what they're announcing in their stealth line now?
What? GS4s?
That, but also I've actually got a model of this locomotive. It's a Fubi, but I got a model of it.
What is it?
The EA6.
Ooh.
What?
My Daylight Atlantic, dude, the Fubi.
They're making the Atlantic. Oh, wait, the Pennsylvania Railroad one.
Yeah, they're making it in their stealth line now.
To be frank, can I say something about the E6?
What about it?
My problem, to be frank, is I think we got too many Pennsylvania Atlantics already.
No, we don't actually. We don't.
We can always use more steam.
Yeah, true. I was just saying,
because every manufacturer on this planet makes diesels.
Yeah, and
none makes steam.
But what I'm saying is, we only had the browser kits, the brass. Hell, even Mantra made a E6, not E6A Atlantic. I'm just saying,
okay. Bowser, okay. Mantua, please don't mention that and as a proper replacement. Mantuas are garbage. Okay, I cannot stand Mantua. They are garbage.
Yeah,
Mantua is a iffy kind of company.
I hold the Ranthers are good.
They're like the old school Bachman, where you're so hit and miss, but more miss.
But my problem is they could to be fair, yes, it makes sense to have another engine, but I just think they can easily do another engine that it's sought out there as well.
I really wish they would do a proper SP land like the A3 or the A6.
Actually, what engine do you think Broadway should do? Can be any class. Diesel or
electric. I know this sounds kind of cliche because it's my profile picture, but I want, more than anything, a BLI SPM T4.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen since Adler's got that on lock. It's pretty much like
and I hate that about that.
It's pretty much why
Because
Broadway won't do the 4-4 Americans because Bachman's got that on lock.
I hate how they have these things on lock because I know for a fact if Broadway had the opportunity to make the MT4, they would, and
They
they would
go
do a better job than Athearn.
competition. Quite
The
early
reason
also.
Athearn has it so locked down is because Athearn knows if Broadway can make an MT4, they
They're
would do a
screwed.
better job than they would. They would do a better job.
Mhm.
That's what I'd love to see. That I know it's never going to happen, but I want it.
Okay, Trainman,
What about it?
what engine do you want Huawei to make?
I really
AC9?
no. I would want them to make a very early logging locomotive, like the Class A Climaxes or Shays, like the vertical boiler stuff, or even a Dunkirk.
No, actually, I'd like now to think about it because it's a realistic approach. I like to see more small steam. I'm talking like an
Exactly.
SP280.
Exactly.
Like make more small steam. I hope the PRR 060s are a success because then Broadway might go, hey, these locomotives were success. Maybe we can actually start to do smaller engines, which would cost us less to develop because they're not as big. And if they sell really well, it's a good idea to make those as an investment.
I find with small engines, my problem is you have to be a mix. Don't go too heavy on the small ones because guess what? The bigger one, the people who want bigger engines will just leave.
No, I agree, but like I'm not saying like 060s for now. I'm saying test the waters with like a 280 or a 282.
I would say I'd be happy with an 080 or a 280. Oh hell, I'd be happy with a
Because the thing
mogul.
about 080s and
Elongated.
060s, sadly, is that we have Proto 2000 ones, so like we can kind of pass on doing those for now. I know like not all railroads use the US array, but
well, the problem is SP had their own 080s. You know this, and the
I'm
only one
aware.
to make it, the only one to make in model train form was Balboa Brass.
Okay,
Sadly.
so can I go with my pick?
Yeah, go
Yes.
ahead.
The Virginian Railroad EL2B.
Is that an electric or is that a steam?
Railroad Tech, Google it.
Type it in the chat so I don't misspell it.
Because it sounds like it's got an electric number.
No, I think it's a steamer because that's all we're talking about.
Well, no, because that's the type of numbering for the what number was it? 844. The net classification.
EL2B.
That sounds suspiciously like an electric engine numbrification.
Show the screen.
I am.
Yeah, I knew
How
it.
wrong I was.
Diesel, knew it.
It's electric.
Electric.
Okay, to be fair though, the wheel
Electric.
design here is very unique. It reminds me of the UP gas turbines.
A fun fact: these are the most powerful engines ever built in the U.S.
No, they weren't.
They are.
Big boy.
No, these things can't pull big boy.
Yeah,
These are the most. They are the most.
Really?
They are the most powerful electric engines ever built in the U.S. They
yes,
are.
but these would have to be in a lash up to outpull the big boy or any other large steam locomotive.
Yeah, they count. I think both units count as one.
Yes and no. They're permanently attached, but they're separate locomotives.
There's one steamage that can outpull both of them.
What?
It is the Belgian.
No.
The 412
no.
The 414-4?
No. No, this is
What?
US. It's the Y6Bs.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. Norfolk and Western was one of the most powerful railroads.
Yeah,
okay,
and you think the big boys were the most strongest locomotives since they were the biggest locomotive ever built. No. The strongest locomotives in the US were the Y6Bs.
Okay. Okay, everyone gets the horsepower of the 2Bs.
Yeah, no, those are diesel, dude. I thought they were electric. Diesel
Electric.
electrics. I thought they were. That sounded familiar.
Each unit can produce 6,800 horsepower.
Okay, I got a question for y'all. This is probably controversial, but what do you guys think of the Broadway Limited Western Pacific GS4?
Show me a picture of it.
So Western Pacific had GS6s, but they never had GS4s. And their
Okay.
GS6s were painted black.
Well, it's the same. I'll probably say it makes sense that they do it. They did the same thing with the USA Heavy Pacifics. They did the same with when they made the Blue Comet. Instead of making the proper class, they said we skin the Heavy Pacific.
Well, it's a
To be fair, they did a
yes.
better job than Velocity.
But,
Fair enough.
Yeah, but granted, yeah, the Western Pacific GS4 is done in the silver orange diesel scheme.
If they did it
Okay,
in
then,
black
right and
and
wrong.
modified the smoke box door to make it look like a GS6, I would have had no problem with it. I would have said, this is actually a really nice locomotive. But the paint scheme that they did is making me question it. Like, what? Like, why?
In fact, when my friend from the San Leandro Club sent me a picture of that, I looked at it and I did this. I said in the meme like the spit, like sitting a sit, like what? Yeah, no, I was like, what the hell is that?
What is this blasphemy?
Well,
Granted though, if we're talking Fubi schemes, there is one Fubi scheme on a Broadway engine that I like, that I actually want to get a model of it, and it's not SP.
What is it?
The New Haven I-5, the green scheme that actually does not look half bad. Now the McGinnis scheme, the black, white, and the black and white one looks actually garbage, but the Fubi green diesel scheme on the I-5 does not look that bad. Actually, it actually looks kind of cool.
Okay. He's
no.
been banned for having bad opinions.
Okay,
He had bad opinions. Okay, how was your trip back from the gulag?
Okay, Trainman. Speaking of the Y6B, what the track
I'll be right back.
of one?
What?
The track of a Y6B.
Tractive effort? Hold on, let me look that up.
Yeah, because I got the ones with the EL2B. We want to see how they compare.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let's see. BING. Let's see. N and W. N and W.
I got the ones the electric.
6B. Okay, class Y. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Oh,
Japanese.
okay, so there were different type of class Ys on the Norfolk Western. Okay, so for the first Y2s, which was the start of the success, they offered at the start nearly 111,000 pounds of tractive effort. That was the Y2s. So the Y3s. Okay, hold on. So yeah, the Y3s offered 114,000 pounds of tractive effort. Y4s contained, hold on. Okay, Y4s and Y5s had 127,700 pounds of track effort, while the boiler pressure reached 300 psi. The Y5s were so powerful they could handle 5,000 tons between Bluefield, West Virginia, and Roanoke on those hills, almost 12,000 tons between Ekman and Williamson, and 8,000 tons between Roanoke and Crew.
Okay, you want me to the tractor outdoor of the EL2B?
Hold on, I'm trying to find the Y6B one for track effort.
Yep.
Hold on. Okay, the Y6Bs had a tractive effort. What? Okay, you say yours. Which one was the electric diesels?
Electric. Stay all pure electric. It's 260,000 poundfuls.
Tractive effort for just by itself with the two diesels, or is that a full set?
The lash up. Both units.
Okay. Okay.
Technically,
So,
it basically. It's basically. Actually, here's the problem. It doesn't say if it's both or one. Okay,
Ugh.
never mind. It say both. It
What
say
did I
both.
miss?
It say
we're-
both because
we're
it's
just-
saying.
you
So
said
it.
Have I
It's.
walked into now?
Oh no, we comparing the Y6B and the EL2B's tractor effort.
so repeat
Alrighty.
again. Repeat again how much the two diesels latched up together. How much they had each?
260,000.
Pounds of track effort.
Yeah, so both of them.
Okay, just with the Y5, that had
Wi-Fi power.
the Y5 had 500. Oh, it had 12,700 pounds of traction effort, and that was the Y5s. But the Y6Bs had okay. Okay, so here's the funny thing. Norfolk and Western tested a set of ABBA sets of electromotive F7s against the Y6B number 2197. And guess how much? And guess which one won?
The Y6B.
Yep.
Yeah, because it. But here's the thing, like, yeah, it won. Makes sense considering that it was that time. It's just,
What year was this?
So when the ABBA set of electromotive F7s went up against the Y6B 2197, that was 1954.
That's odd. Because that was 2 years after NNW started their full dieselization program.
okay, so I did some research on the EL2s.
Okay, I'm trying to find the thing again. Hold on. So
Yeah.
the Y6Bs had a track shift effort of 6,550 horsepower, and then a traction effort. Okay. Why is my I really fucking hate my screen. Hold on. It keeps jumping around. Okay, found it. We're talking adhesive weight, right?
Yeah, it's traffic after, yeah.
5,222 850 pounds of pressure.
No, traffic it's the poundfuls.
You're talking about the cylinder pressure, right?
No, I'm talking about the F. Let me look it up. Y6P.
Oh, found it. Okay. As a simple articulated 166,000 pounds of tractive effort compound, 838 pounds of pressure.
Okay, so
That's as one, but these were different. So with the simple articulation, since the Y6Bs were articulated, the simple compound was 166,000. The compound articulated was 126.
Yes, Colby, I am, and I don't intend on stopping for a while. So if you're bored, feel free to hop on. I have
yeah,
I
so
have
basically
the
what happened is these are still I was correct. These things are the most powerful engines that were built in the US.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
And also I double checked. So technically both the two units are technically count as one.
Okay.
They are polarly coupled.
All right.
So basically technically they had bought 8 units, but technically they're 4.
All right. Okay, so they're in a permanent lash up then. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like the DD ones were for the Pennsylvania Railroad.
Yeah. But I love these electrics. They are amazing. I want one in HO scale, but no one made them.
I think a brass company did.
Brass definitely did.
But they're like $2,000, $3,000. I am not spending that money on electric, even though I love them. It's not the problem. Like I want them. The problem is I don't want to spend crazy.
Wait, I think that's Sam.
Yo, what is
Hello?
up, my guy?
Okay.
What?
Sam, it's nice to see you. Yes.
Hello.
Oh,
Okay. Either way, I had to get going there. I got work in the morning.
All right, I'll talk to you later, gamer. You have a good night.
Okay, I'll probably
Later,
talk to you in the
8:44.
morning. DM you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you on Discord. You have a good night, man.
See ya.
Hello, Sam. It's nice to see you decide to hop on.
what? I don't know. You just like posted a link and I just clicked it. I don't know what
I'm
this
live
was.
streaming
We're
on
doing a
YouTube
live
right
stream.
now.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So, what have you been up to?
I don't know. I mean, stuff.
All right,
Working
okay.
on stuff, you know.
We got another question. FEF or GS4? That's a very easy question for me. GS4.
GS4 for me as well.
Yeah, probably GS4.
Because they were seen on more railroads.
Not necessarily that, but yeah, it's seen more here in California than the FEF3s or the FEF2 and the FEF1s.
Cool.
Yeah. Sadly, I think 844 is going to come to California before 4449 can return,
Exactly.
if ever.
Controversial opinion here, switching to UP. What would you guys' opinions be about if UP took the last, since 844 is the last per kind of the FEF3s, but there's still one FEF1 and one FEF2 left. What would you say if UP bought the other two FEFs, each one the last per kind, and rebuilt them and had the triple threat of the FEFs?
Well, what's the caveat?
No caveat. Like what if they had the triple threat of the FES? Like one of each class.
That would be very nice to see, because then they can actually show off the history. But there's no money to be made in that, sadly.
I disagree. I really disagree. Because you have the triple threat. You have the triple threat because you have each class starting with how it began FEF1, then going to FEF2, then FEF3.
That's the thing, though. The trio of death from UP should have been 39, 85, 844, and 4014.
Okay, that I can definitely agree with. But since 3985 was never going to run again by UP, because apparently...
Oh, no, it's going to run again.
I know, but at a different railroad. That's what I'm saying. But no,
right.
The problem is 4014 is owned by a different... I mean, they're both owned by UP, But the problem was, back when they were privately owned, 3985 was simply owned by a different owner and also restored by a different person than what the 4014 was. And apparently those two guys had a rivalry, so that's why 3985 hasn't been restored yet by UP.
That is a good point.
In fact,
I would like to.
But yes, in fact, when 4014 was restored, they took 3985's tender from it.
Oh yeah, that's sadly an unfortunate thing. Oh, we got a new question here. If you could have one locomotive to restore from any railroad in the U.S., which locomotive would you choose to restore? I would choose to bring back the S1. I'm going to let you guys make your decision first before I make mine.
Why would you pick the S1? Wasn't that like only
That's
available
right.
to operate on the straightest of track?
Well, it was a good engine. The only problem with it was that the Pennsylvania Railroad didn't know how to operate the thing.
They did. It's just that it was so big that.
Or wait, was that the T1? I don't remember. One of those two.
The S1.
I think it was the S1 or S2. I can't remember.
S1 and S1 had the same problem as the Russian locomotive with breaking switches and like breaking track. So that's why she mostly ran out in the Badlands between Chicago and some other way, where it's all level track, hardly any grades.
That is true. It was only one of its kind. I would obviously choose one of the Southern Pacific Mountains, specifically 4350 or one of the daylight ones. Because A, you'd have another daylight engine if it was one of the daylight ones like 4352 or 4353. And those were the Cadillacs, the SP. They were great mixed traffic engines for both passenger and freight. So there's really nothing negative about them, and they could, if you could do mainline excursions, easily pull like over 10 cars at least. It would also not have any problems probably with track too.
So Portland and Astoria Railroad, you mind if we change the game a little bit? If we can restore any train. Well, how about since it's so hard to choose, how about we raise like the top three, raise the top three engines we restored that are gone? How about that?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Only three, no more. So, for me, my first one to restore out from the blue, of course, is in my picture on my screen. The PR1, the PR1, number 1903, the one that ran on the commute line from up until 1932. All right. So my second locomotive to restore, of course, another SP would be the AM2s. Mm-hmm. That would be the early Cat Fords. Third locomotive on my thing to restore from SP, of course, that it's no longer around, would be. Which is it? The AC9s.
Okay, my first one would be the MT4s, obviously. I would explain why. My second would be one of the Southern Pacific GS1s. The reason is those were the first of the Northerns. They were iconic. They kind of paved the way for the GS4s. And it would be kind of cool to see a visual representation because of the kind of three. Because the GS2 and 3s were different. But the GS1 was the most different from the GS4. The GS1s never had streamlining. And the two we have currently have streamlining. So it would be a good difference. And my last pick, I was going to say one of the SP shop switchers, but I would personally say instead of that, one of the Berkshires actually.
Okay, because that I can agree with.
Because don't get me wrong, I would like to see an AC9, but what you also have to consider if you were to do this, if feasibility. A GS1 could run on the main line easily. Same thing with an MT4, and possibly go to, run in Portland or Sacramento, and same thing with the Berkshire. But the larger you go with your engine, the less and less places it could actually run. So you wouldn't want to spend the millions of dollars.
Trash in your bedroom?
Give me a second.
I just realized something. as much as I'm breaking my own rule here with selecting a fourth engine, I have got to say I gotta choose the SP A6 Daylight Atlantic 3000. I'm sorry, because those things
Well, hold
had
on,
this. Waiting for a
Matthew.
Dodge.
The question was like, was it your favorite engine or just your favorite SP engine?
My favorite SP engines to restore that are no longer around because the PR1 is one.
Oh, that
like
was the question. Okay.
yeah, like top 3 or 4 engines you want to see restored from the ground up.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see the PR1 restored from the ground up, the AC9s, the A6 Atlantics, specifically 3000, 3001, and what was my second locomotive? So yeah, PR1s, AC9s, Atlantics. What was my second locomotive? I don't remember my second locomotive. I'm just gonna say there's 4 locomotives. Yeah, the PR1s, the D1s, the A6s, and the I'm surprised. Yeah, PR1, D1s, A6s, and
That's right.
AC9s.
Anyway. Okay. Oh, wait. Let me read the comment. My first 2 I would restore would have to be SP 3000 and 3001 because they were both daylight, and on top of that, they were both scrapped in my home state of Oregon. They are 442s. Okay, that is a good reason. Granted, we do have a 442 still around, but a daylight one, we did not.
Yeah, no, because you're right. Because both SP 3000, 3001 were scrapped on the deadline. So
Yeah. We have the other one here. Do you think 4449 and SPS 700 would ever run anywhere again? That depends on where they'd run. They have their own track they can run on, but I don't think they'll run on the main line anytime soon.
Okay, can I say something about that?
Yeah.
4449 maybe not, but SPS 700 maybe because Spokane, Seattle, Portland, Spokane Railroad became part of Great Northern, and Great Northern merged with BNSF. So technically, BNSF is actually 700 is actually part of that railroad. So they actually might let that train on their line. 4449.
So, Matthew.
Yeah.
The GS4 4449 and SPNS 700 and what was it, 700? I don't know. They're both
It was a
actually
Pacific
owned by
Cat.
the city of Portland. They're both owned by the city of Portland.
I know they're both owned by the city of Portland, but I'm saying that its mother railroad is actually Spokane, Portland, Seattle, which was bought by Great Northern, which became part of BNSF. Which I'm saying that if they were to let either 44, 49, or 700 on the line, BNSF, they would most likely choose 700 since they kind of have more of a tie to that train than 44, 49.
No, I'd say they pick 44, 49 more because of the better PR.
What?
Yeah. Wouldn't 44, 49 be more popular?
More popular, yes. But I would have to disagree because technically, if they're going to consider my opinion on this with a grain of salt, but I find that like with UP, they allow only their railroad, their own steam trains, which they have a tie to on their tracks, like with 4014 and 8044. With BNSF, since SPNS is technically an older railroad that was merged with Great Northern with the 700, they would have more of a chance to run that. Okay, yes, that's true, Mr. Portland and Astoria Railroad. 44 from 49 did do a BNSF anniversary excursion for the past employees, but then again, that was a special hire since I don't think 700 was restored at the time.
All right, sorry. Yeah. No, for BNSF, they've let 4449 on the main line a few times. Last time was 2017, but hopefully it could happen again.
That's true. But the problem is, it's a liability since the city of Portland does not want to install. What's that thing that they do with the 4014 where it's got like a link to a satellite?
PTC.
PTC, yeah, that's it. That's the problem because the city of Portland doesn't want to do that with the 4449 or the 700.
And I can't blame him because it ruins the originality
So-
of the locomotive.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. The PTC is not actually equipped on the locomotive. It's just a screen. That's it. There's no actual antenna on the locomotive. It's a screen that has a wireless connection to the locomotive that's behind it.
You haven't
I
heard
will
what's been
see.
you
will see.
You haven't heard what's been going on with 4014 in that regard, have you? Then
No, I know about it. 4014 does not have any PTC antenna. It has a PTC display that can control the unit behind it and all the
no.
PTC and dynamic brakes.
They're trying to install the PTC board inside the tender of 4014 so she doesn't have to run with the diesel anymore. You didn't hear about that? They're trying to
I
make
heard
that
about
they
it.
already did it.
It's not very plausible because they need to
Yeah, it
have
is.
one locomotive. They need to have it's required that they have one locomotive for dynamic braking.
No,
Because
you
without
just
the
have the
dynamic
passenger
braking,
cars have dynamic braking. Why do you think that the big boy was pulling modern
that's
freight cars that has dynamic braking?
it.
So you wouldn't
And
even need a
Donis,
locomotive.
Donis, dynamic braking is not. It's when you use the motors as a brake, and passenger cars don't have motors in them. That's like a regular air brake. I'm talking about dynamic brakes.
Oh, motor brakes, yeah.
I guess we'll have
So
to wait and see.
they require one locomotive for dynamic brakes because without it, it wouldn't be efficient, and they don't allow that. And they also need it because since it's a modern railroad, and they need to have trains running. If the big boy breaks down, or if a steam locomotive breaks down, they have to have a diesel.
Speaking of
But
that,
there has been occasional
Yep.
exceptions, as you know.
Yeah. That's another thing I'm questioning. I'm wondering if we'll ever see 844 on the main again because we haven't seen her since like 2019, I think.
I don't know. I'm not on top of 844.
It's because 844 they actually want to retire her for good, especially since that spare parts locomotive they used for years on it, it's running out of parts.
Yeah. What was that, like 835 or
Right.
something?
Something like that. Yeah, it's another FEF3, but they're running out of parts to take off that thing.
That's
Yeah.
no good.
At this point, they can probably just there's enough machines in our modern world to create parts from scratch. They do it for 4449 in Portland. They have a massive custom machine shop there.
That's the other thing. Like, if they shouldn't, it would not make sense to give up on 844 right now because if they do that and they don't have a parts engine, Big Boy doesn't even have that either. So, I mean, yeah, there are the big boys that they could possibly steal parts from, but eventually they would also run out of parts. 844 has been running for
Everything's
almost
going to run
8
out of
years.
parts. Everything one day is going to run out of parts.
Yes, so they would need to learn how to produce those parts. And another thing, the 80th birthday of 844 is this Christmas. So they should be running it for her 80th birthday. So why would they get rid of it at a big milestone?
It's more.
They're not going to get rid of it. I doubt they're going to get rid of it.
They didn't even get rid of the stuff they donated to that museum that is in the old Rock Island shops. It's just got a 99-year lease to that railroad.
100-year lease.
Same thing. So that way, if they go kaput, UP can take the equipment back and it doesn't get scrapped or have the thing that might get scrapped. Hello, Colby.
Oh, Colby.
I heard that you said those Intermountain kits are a nightmare to build.
The problem with 844 though, Michael, is that the problem with 844 is that she's been run nonstop, and she's the oldest locomotive on any roster. Okay, that's still operating. Because remember, all the locomotives have been retired from rosters. 844 was never stricken from UP's roster. Never was. So that's a problem because I think that's part of the reason why they want to retire her because they've run her nonstop.
Maybe.
Because no, even everything gets old and tired. Okay, everything does, and that's part of the problem with 844 is that she has never been officially retired. Never has been. She was put in the Steam program, but she was not stricken from UP's roster. She was not put on a historical roster. She's on the regular roster.
Oh, yeah, that is true, sadly.
So unless they want to put her on the historical roster with 4014 and 3095, which I don't think they want to do, they have to do something with it.
The big thing I got a question is when are they going to realize enough is enough of stealing parts off of the other FEF that they have and start to try and manufacture their own parts? Because
I don't know.
Because they're going to have to eventually. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter
of when. Yeah.
Because
Well,
844, we all know this, it's been running for almost 80 years. Your parts are going to run out eventually for that thing.
And
You'll have to start.
The things that they can make, they do make. It's just some parts are extremely hard to make, so they just take it off. But most of the parts are made.
What parts? Actually, I'm gonna have to look into that. I wonder what parts that they cannot manufacture very easily, because even those eventually they're gonna have to make their own.
Like things like side rods and stuff. Things that aren't. Things that have like patents that are long forgotten, blueprints that are long forgotten. It's easy to do it if you got blueprints. That's why the 4449 was so easy because they got some of the blueprints.
But then again, what Steam was I thinking? Don't they have the blueprints for 5511? Because that's part of the reason why they haven't tried to restore her yet. But also, doesn't the 5511 have a certain valve gear that is so hard to repair? It's like a Baker valve gear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't the T1 project making a bunch of valve gears?
Yeah, it does have to be due for an overhaul. It has to be. I'm wondering if they're working on its 15-year boiler inspection right now, actually.
No. The train museum that's on the former Rock Island shops, they're restoring 3985 first, and then they're going to 5511. But they did have 5511's boiler inspections a while ago, so they did an air test with it.
Okay, that's good, because it looks like they're seeing to be if it's feasible to do a restoration.
The problem is, though, because remember when they last had 5511 under steam was not even a proper steaming. Remember that UP video from the 1950s where they had all the steam equipment up under steam?
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't burning actual oil or fuel with 5511. They were burning rubber tires.
Really?
Yeah.
So it hasn't actually ran since the 1950s.
Since the 1940s, actually. But yeah, because when they had 5511 last under steam in that movie, it was actually burning rubber tires.
Why was that? It was being pushed from behind?
No, it was meant to give off the illusion of burning black smoke. Since rubber kind of burns black when it's on fire.
I guess I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, we got another comment. Because UP is a bit avoiding about making parts because of the expenses, because they want to save every dang little bit of money they can. They care about money and a little about making parts for locos. Sadly, that is true. So UP will complain and say, "Oh, these guys have a monopoly," but the second they can make a monopoly, oh yeah, let's have a monopoly.
Bro,
SP-UP merger in California in the 90s.
Keep in mind, not as bad as Norfolk Southern.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I'm not.
No, you're right. I mean, I can only imagine how bad it is in Florida, because CSX is the only railroad in there. At least in California, in parts of it, we have BNSF and UP, but Florida doesn't have that kind of luxury.
Well, yeah, it's not been, it hasn't been the same since the Gulf Railway closed due to that hurricane 2005.
Isn't FEC still operated by some Fermix?
I think, but they're not as big as CSX. CSX owns so much more track.
Yeah.
They're like an ant next to an elephant. That's how small they are.
Yeah.
But then again, what's the other railroad? Yeah, no. CSX. I don't even want to get into them about that. It's just CSX is the biggest monopoly on the East Coast. How it even outranks Norfolk Southern. I'm sorry to say that because CSX is the
CSX,
remaining.
yeah, and they are very hesitant on operating practices. So I have a friend in Florida. He works at the Gold Coast Railroad Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, CSX is, from what I heard, very toxic towards them. Like they'll possibly donate stuff, but if you want to try and get anything transported on the main line that's historic, there's going to be a problem, or even run anything on the main.
Adonis. As
Yeah.
I said, Norfolk Southern is the worst. You can think CSX is bad, but Norfolk Southern is at least twice worse.
Norfolk Southern is worse in most categories for the most part. The only category they're not worse in is steam. They will let 611 on the main line, but I think the only reason they do that is because they know they are the worst. They're trying to build up public perception like, oh yeah, we're not that bad of a railroad, so we'll let the steam engine on the main line, even though they have the worst operating practices out of any of the
Yeah,
best ones.
there's a term called NSing it.
Yeah. No, wait, no, I don't. Wait.
Norfolk Southern.
Norfolk. Okay, it's not as bad as Penn Central.
It's where you absolutely screw it up because Norfolk Southern was famous for throwing empty cars in the middle of long trains and then stringlining it and derailing all the freaking time. Just all
Yeah.
over. You derailed constantly.
Oh yeah, I remember. I saw a few videos of that. No, NS isn't as bad as Penn Central because at least NS is
Making money.
profitable, but Penn Central at least was a bit safer than NS. At least I think. Or am I wrong?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I wasn't alive back then.
None of us
Nor
were.
was I.
None of us were. Well, what about? Well, technically, I was alive when Conrail was around, so Conrail was broke up in 1999, correct?
The last year of operations was 1999 before their track was sold off to NS and CSX.
Okay, what was the operating practice of Conrail like?
I'm not sure.
I don't think they were too bad, except for doing a bunch of flying switches, which was not the best.
No, actually, Conrail, they inherited a bunch of Penn Central track, which was ex New York Central and PRR.
Yep.
And the problem with that was they had a bunch of lines that were passenger. And like in the 70s, there was an oil crisis, or the 80s.
Yeah, the Arab oil.
Well, right after that oil crisis, Conrail decided, you know what? Let's remove all this electrification from the PRR and New York Central that helped us get through this oil crisis instead of, like rebuilding it and continuing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing was they had some pretty good routes, like the Lackawanna Cutoff, designed specifically for passenger rail. And they operated on it their first few years, but they're like, why do we need this? And they ripped it up. Instead of saying, okay, Amtrak's a government entity, we're a government entity, Amtrak does passenger, we do freight, let's sell it off to Amtrak. No, they ripped it up. And now there's been a whole political battle to try and get the line rebuilt. Yeah?
The reason why they got rid of the electric is because it wasn't built very well. The wires were in constant need of repair, and also the energy that was generated to make the generators that generated the electricity ran on oil, because that was still pre-nuclear era for most of the U.S. in the area.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because
then my bad on the electric part.
No,
but I think
it's okay though.
But I think
It
my
was still a
point
dumb
on the
idea.
Lackawanna cutoff still kind of, I think we can agree, was a bad decision by them. Yeah, it wasn't a freight line, but they should have just sold it off to Amtrak.
I agree with you on that. Isn't VEA trying to build the line back up there again?
They are. They are. The problem is a lot of locals are opposed to it for some reason, I think. And it's ridiculous because they're all climate activists. Oh wait, I should not have said that as political. I'm sorry. But no, they are trying to rebuild the line, but there's been problems with it. They've been trying to do that for like 30 years. Ever since the tracks were abandoned by Conrail, they were trying to save it. And then after they
Wait,
kind of
is the
somewhat saved it, they're trying to rebuild it.
is the Lackawanna cutoff that giant bridge?
Partially. I think it was the
What
Erie
wasn't the
Lackawanna.
bridge
They built
destroyed?
it in like the 1920s, but the line is straight. They built mounds. They cut through mountains. It's level track. And some guys that rode on the steam locomotives in the late 40s and early 50s, those locomotives easily hit 100 miles an hour, over 100 miles an hour, not even struggling. And these were like
Didn't the
Pacifics.
bridge get destroyed?
Bridge is still there, but I think they need to rebuild it if they were to put service back in.
No, didn't it literally get mostly destroyed?
No.
Are you talking about the Francis Scott Key Bridge?
No. Let me look it up. Hold on.
Because if it's that bridge with Bridge Lackawanna cutoff, you heard about that ship that crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Rhode Island, right?
No. When was it built? The line. 1908 to 1911. It was almost 400 miles between Hoboken, New Jersey, and Buffalo, New York. That line. That should. Now I'm even more disappointed that Conrail ripped it up in 1979. Oh no, NJ Transit now owns it, but they don't run very high speed service, sadly.
Well, yeah. Isn't the New Jersey Transit Service a light rail they want to build on it?
I think I'm not sure.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
no, they have light rail. Wait. Operators. No, wait. NJ Transit, they only operate on a short section of line that's still there. They have like commute GP40P-2s or something, but they don't have very much uh, passenger equipment besides that. It's just GP40P-2s. Nothing really that much better than that.
Look, I kind of see why they don't want to build the Lackawanna cutoff back up again because the locals don't want to see they don't want to see the steam trials again where like they have to test like they don't want the T1 coming back up there to do the speed test. They don't.
I would understand that, but in my opinion, I'd like to see the line reopen just for Amtrak. Just to let Amtrak operate on it. I'm not one guy for government intervention, but the government should intervene here and say, we screwed up in 1984 ripping up this track. We're putting it back in service, and Amtrak's going to own and operate on it. That's what should happen.
It's going to cost a
Because
whole lot of money.
not as much as it would to build a completely new line. The track bed has been properly preserved, so all you really need to do is throw new rail on there, and you're good. That's pretty much all it is. You could use Siemens chargers. I'm not saying electrify it.
Isn't there
I'm saying just
already
relay the track. What?
already a different connecting line?
A different connecting line? What do you mean?
Like like how the Mission Bay cutoff, like the Bayshore cutoff happened, and they built a line around it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like that. But they did another line around the Lackawanna cutoff.
No, I don't think they did. I think the track beds kind of just remain dormant. There probably were undercuts and overcuts of it in certain areas, but those would probably be very easy to fix, from my knowledge.
I've
Because
done
the
it.
majority of
Finish this, but then I need to say something to you about Rail
you
Panic.
go on.
So there's an app called what's it called Scanner Radio. It's got
I have it.
police on it. Yeah. Do you have the UP one saved?
Not yet. I need to go do that.
Yeah,
Wait,
because
a
it's
comment.
instead of having like one.
Hey, if there's one thing I don't like about UP, it's that they always skip the PNW. And the second you're This is the second year that they've done that to us. Could you explain that, Portland? Anyway, continue, Sam.
Yeah, it's just instead of having to get a scanner and like go to the individual frequencies, it gets everything in the bay, which is good. Yeah.
Ready? I'll see you hopefully tomorrow at Santa Clara before we go to Menlo. Show me how to set that up so we can see about the mission bay when that passes, or the rock job.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got to go there for the members meeting tomorrow.
I'll see you both tomorrow at Santa Clara myself. Right now, I got to get going because I have stuff to do, and I want to get a TV turned on before my dad shuts off the internet.
I get that. I think I'm going to end this here for tonight, because this is over 2 hours of a live stream. Did you want do you want to just talk on the phone after this, Sam, or did you want to just be done with this after the stream?
I'm good. I got my points. I have to do some work on sirens.
Alrighty then. Well, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you to
Trade
everyone
points.
who possibly, I don't know, or whistles. I don't know. Anyway, thank you to everybody. Oh wait, they skipped letting Big Boy into Portland and Boyce. It's all because of our trackage. Sadly, I get that feeling because
It's so stupid.
it is that they're trying to just bring the Big Boy into like their big yards only. They're not wanting doing it to populated areas.
I can understand that because the smaller the track yard, like the harder of a time you have to get out.
I mean, you could also. It's not. I mean, Portland. I don't think it's very safe. It's like bringing it to Oakland. Something's gonna happen. Roseville's a little safer than Oakland.
Debatable.
We'll
Portland
see.
is worse, if not. Portland is the same, if not worse, than Oakland.
Sadly, I mean, I'm all for bringing the locomotives to more locations, but the problem is politics, which we don't want to get into, but you can do your own research if you want, and track quality. And UP has kind of cut quality on a lot of track. I mean, look at the Permanente branch in the Bay Area, and you'll know what I'm talking about. It's been neglected. Anywho,
Well, then again,
it was nice talking to you, Portland, and everyone else. You guys have a good night.
Well, last thing to mention. Well,
Mhm.
if we ever see the Big Boy in Oakland, I'd really love to see it at Jack London Square.
I want to see 4449 and 2472 parallel each other through Jack London. That's something I really want to see someday. But I know it's never going to happen.
Last thing, if like the old 1989 World's Fair where 4844 and 4449 raced each other. I want to see them. I want to see them race each other through Jack London Square one day. That's not going to happen, but I wish.
Yeah, same here. Alrighty.
Anyways, I'm SP Launcher Mombado. This is Lego Tech. Sam Lee. Later.
See you guys later. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.